Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Some news that's out today, and I want to focus on this today, ladies and gentlemen. I want to focus on what people have been saying, what people have been doing. I talked about it yesterday. I want to focus on the Bell Hotel in Epping, the legal precedents now that this hotel does look like it's going to be closed. What they're claiming is the hotel is not being used for its intended purpose. So when you have to go through planning permission for these hotels, these hotels are, the planning permission for that hotel will be as a hotel, i.e. people turn up, they pay some money, they stay a couple of nights and they leave. That is not what's happening at the moment with the Bell Hotel. Now, the precedent that this opens up, guys, and look, ladies and gentlemen, you guys know I do my own stuff, right? You guys know I do my own stuff. I don't copy other people's stuff. So what we can take from this is, yesterday when this news broke, I did a video about this and I said, listen, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I think everybody needs to be really careful here and people need to be really careful about what we are wishing for. Because what I said in the video yesterday, I think maybe 10 minutes after this news was broken, what I said on that video was, if these hotels are closed, where are these people going to go? Now, I don't know the answer to that, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we've literally got people now. We've literally, in the United Kingdom, in Scotland, we have got people from African tribes claiming part of the countryside and claiming they're going to build like a tribe in the countryside. And look, guys, I don't mean to be like the harbinger. Is that a word? I don't mean to be the harbinger of bad news all the time, but I spot these things when they're growing in the, I spot these things where they're coming out of the weeds. And I say to you guys, I say, look, we are going to have a situation in the United Kingdom very soon, ladies and gentlemen, where people are going to be claiming adverse possession of masses of our countryside. Masses of our countryside are going to be claimed by adverse possession. It's coming, ladies and gentlemen. It might not be coming in the next couple of days, but I can guarantee, ladies and gentlemen, that is coming. So I do want to focus on the, I want to focus on what's happening with this Bell Hotel, the Bell Hotel in Essex. So let me just get this up on the screen, guys. Give me a second. And good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone that's joining. Quite a few people following this morning. Thank you. Right, 34 minutes ago, guys. So we have got a little bit of breaking news 34 minutes ago. So this is from government working on contingency plans. So the government is working on contingency plans after ruling on Epping Migrant Hotel. Look, guys, if what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So this is going to be this legislation now is going to be applied to every other migrant hotel. So you can pretty much see really quickly, ladies and gentlemen, that the migrant hotels will be getting closed down. Now, what does that mean? Is that good news? Guys, look, I keep saying, and I'm not changing my tune, and I never change my tune. That's a lie, actually. Sometimes if new information comes out, I will change my tune. But no new information's come out. What I've said previously, ladies and gentlemen, is these protests by the hotels, they have unified people, and these big protests in London. If we don't stop the flow, if that flow is not stopped from coming to the United Kingdom, where are these people going to go? And it's all well and good closing these hotels, but where are they going to go? I can pretty much tell you where they're going to go. They're going to go in taxpayer-funded houses, guys. These people are going to be getting. These people will be put in taxpayer-funded houses. So the government is working on contingency plans for housing asylum seekers after a court ruled that they should be removed from a hotel in Epping. Ministers now bracing for further legal challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, do I not give you the best information? Do I not give you the quickest, best, most up-to-date information? I literally said that. I mean, this is breaking news now this morning, but I gave you literally everything that I've just said here. I was talking about last night in a live stream, guys. Okay, not in a live stream. I did a video yesterday about this. So ministers are now bracing for further legal challenges from councils across the country. Security Minister Dan Jarvis told, I think he was ex-parachute regiment. In fact, he was. I think he was 2-para. Security Minister Dan Jarvis told the Times Radio on Wednesday. So, like, is it Wednesday today? We're looking at a range of different contingency options following a legal ruling that took place yesterday, and we'll look closely at what we're able to do. I tell you what they're doing, guys. Can you remember Angela Rayner? I can remember Angela Rayner on an interview, and she was saying, we're building all these new houses. We're going to build 3 million new houses, and they're going to be rate good. They're going to be proper rate good. They're going to have solar panels and everything, and they're going to have like running water and electricity. I can remember when she was doing that, I was thinking, right, okay, like who's going in these houses? Like, who are we going to put in these houses? Because that's a lot of houses. And I remember the guy interviewing her. He said something like, so who's going into these houses? Where are they going to be built? Who's going into them? So this is what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. This is what's going to happen. The hotels are going to get closed one by one. People are going to chant. People are going to cheer. And then those people from those hotels are going to find themselves in housing estates, in taxpayer-funded private housing. That's where they're going to go. And then, I don't know, maybe we've seen a situation in the United Kingdom where companies like BlackRock have been invested in private houses for, I don't know, why do you think they've been doing that? Do you see how it's all coming together now, guys? Then we're going to have people move in those areas. Look, guys, and can you see yesterday as well how the new taxes on houses over £500,000? So now people are going to, guys, can you see it all fitting together? Sorry, guys, let me continue. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you've just joined, we're talking about the legal precedent that's just happened. The Bell Hotel in Epping does look like it's going to be closed. Now, there's going to be legal challenges all over the country now, guys. There's going to be legal challenges all over the country to close these hotels. But, guys, be careful what you wish for, ladies and gentlemen. Be careful what you wish for, okay? Because what I said yesterday after looking at this for like 5 seconds, I said, okay, right. So where are they going to go? Like, where are they going to go? Would you rather these people in hotels, or would you rather have them, in housing estates, in private houses? Because if you think it's hard to get them out of hotels, imagine trying to get them out of private rented houses. So, asked whether other migrant hotels have the proper planning permission, Mr. Jarvis says we'll see over the next few days and weeks. So I think he's planning. So I think they're understanding, and I think they're waiting for further legal challenges. There was a statement from Nigel Farage yesterday. This is a victory for the parents and concerned residents of Epping. They do not want their young women being assaulted on the streets. This is what Nigel Farage is saying, not me, ladies and gentlemen. A community who stood up bravely despite being slandered as far right and have won. They represent the vast majority of the British public. I would say he's right, but ladies and gentlemen, listen, we've got to be clear. Those people need to go somewhere. Where are they going to go? Like, where are they going to go? I don't think they're going to send them down to West Falkland Islands. I really don't, guys. I think these people are going to end up in taxpayer-funded council houses. Tell me I'm wrong, guys. Tell me I'm wrong in the comments. I think it's important to make. I think an important point to make is that nobody really thinks that hotels are a sustainable location to accommodate asylum seekers. Do you know what is sustainable? Private rented houses, guys. It's coming. Pucker up, sweet cheeks. You're gonna walk out your door. You're gonna walk out your door, and it's gonna be like the United Nations. It's gonna be like the United Nations. We're gonna have lots of different languages, cultures, and we're all gonna be enriched. Rainbow flags everywhere. It's gonna be beautiful, guys. It's gonna be beautiful. Get those Union flags down though, because they're evil. Reform leader Nigel Farage has indicated that councils run by his party will consider their own legal challenges. Guys, listen, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I'm just being very cautious about this, guys. I'm being very cautious. I'm being very cautious. Writing in the Telegraph, Nigel Farage said, now the good people of Epping must inspire similar protests around Britain. So Nigel Farage is calling for more protests. Let's hold peaceful protests. So there we have it, guys. There we have it. I'm going to focus on that today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to focus on that today. The Bell Hotel in Epping does look like it's going to be closed. People are calling it a victory. I'm not convinced this is a victory. I think this is just moving the problem somewhere else and potentially making it worse. At least you know where those people are when they're in hotels. At least you can go and audit them. If you go to these, like how do you deal with these people when they're all spread out in private rented houses? Right, give me a second, guys. Give me a second. Right, I'll jump up and get the comments. Good morning, everyone on TikTok that's joining. Good morning to everyone. Listen, for the subscribers as well. Listen, I am really struggling at the moment with this, with what I'm building, you guys. I still think I may be able to get it to you on Friday, or if I can't get it to you on Friday, I can at least present it to you on Friday. You guys might not be able to get it on Friday, but I can at least show you guys what I'm doing on Friday. Jody Lee is saying, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Jody Lee. Good morning to you. Tina Elliott is saying, good morning, everyone. HME Exposed Media. Hello, HME Exposed Media. Cuckoo, BSV, Blessed, Loose Kid. Hello, Loose Kid. Linda Lou is saying, good morning, Sean. Hello. And Hello has just joined. Somebody called Hello. I love the names on TikTok. Miss Peachy has joined. Nappers. Peanut has joined as well. Sharon Owen is saying, good morning. Good morning to you, Sharon Owen. Dave McIntosh, share the live. Thank you so much, Dave McIntosh, for sharing the live. Linda Lou is saying, it's not over, Sean. The end goal is deportation and stop the freebies. Again, you know, I think the real problem here, guys, the real problem is international investment. It is. The real problem is international investment. Everything stems, all these problems that we have in the United Kingdom, they all stem from international investment. They do. And with international investment, I could call it international banking as well. You could call it international banking as well. All the problems stem from that ultimately, guys. All the problems ultimately stem from that. Debbie 1973 saying good morning, everyone. April Lee saying good morning, everyone. D Marie Gen X is saying good morning, everyone. Morning all. April Lee saying, is it the lottery numbers, Sean? No, April Lee, I'm sorry, it's not the lottery numbers, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I do not have the lottery numbers. Right, just a couple of John Thistlethwaite on YouTube is saying, I agree 100%. By the time autumn comes, around any empty properties in your area will be full of legal migrants. Not solved anything. The only way to get this solved and back to where they came from. Yeah, I agree, guys. Look, you know, first of all, I need to be clear, guys, all right? I don't do this enough, ladies and gentlemen. I don't do this enough. I think I need to caveat myself, all right? I want a strong police force. I want a strong legal system. I want a strong government. I want a robust government, you know. I'm pro-police, pro-government, pro-military. You know, what we are seeing at the moment, though, I don't see the strength in this, guys. I don't see the strength. I do not see the strength in this at all, guys. You know, all I see is, you know, all our hard-earned tax money being given away. Because if you follow this money, guys, if you follow this money, it all ends up out of our country. And all this money ends up out of our country, which inevitably makes us poorer. There's been no scenario in the world ever where a nation have been taxed into prosperity. It's unbelievable, guys. Absolutely unbelievable. I spoke to my friend again the other day, and he's looking like he's going to lose his. Their company looks like it's going to be closing down. That's going to be a big one, guys. He works for a really big company. That company is looking like it's going to be going bust. Good morning, Chris White. He was on early. Good morning, Tnook. Good morning, Matt. Good morning, Paul Neely. Good morning, Zoe Dean. Max C over on YouTube is saying the houses are up now, so the local hotels can close. Yeah, it does seem like it's all fitting together, doesn't it? Matt is saying their new hotels weren't fit for purpose for the migrants from day one. They only changing their tune because of the protests. Musaka Mu is saying, where I am, housing developments went bust over C19. Apparently, Serco has bought it. Yeah, this is what's happening, guys. Can you see right now how there is like a war on homeowners? Right now, in the United Kingdom, I would say that there is a war on homeowners. So if you are a private landlord, so, and by landlord, I don't mean like, I don't mean like you're a high roller. What I mean is by private landlord, I mean, if, for example, you own your own house and you're single, I know a lot of people have been in this situation. Like you own your own house, you're single, you meet someone, they own their own house, you decide to move in together and you've got a house that, you're both working. You don't need to sell that other house. So you move in together in one of the houses and you decide to rent the other one out. That's what these tax laws come for. That's what these new renters reform bills come for. That type of person. Because they don't want private people being able to generate their own money. They want people to be dependent on the state. And when you're dependent on the state, you work for the state. If you think about, I just want to talk about, I just want to talk about socialism, guys, or communism, whatever you want to call it, and capitalism, okay? So and I think people are moving to this, and we have to move to this new, well, we don't have to do it, we shouldn't do it, but we are moving to this new system whereby it's going to be the new universal basic income, basically. So if you think about two systems, all right, one system, which is where I think they're trying to push us to, would be the socialist system. And that socialist system, you're taking things from the ground and then you're paying people with the stuff you've got from the ground. So it makes no sense. So those people, all they are is takers and consumers. That would be like the socialist system. I'm trying to shorten this down, guys. So you don't want those people to be causing any trouble. You want as few as possible. And then you've got the other system, which would be what capitalism set out to be, is where people, people make their own money, people flourish, people work, people push, drive, and innovate to make things better for themselves. And by doing so, they create jobs, prosperity, and pay taxes because they're earning money. Of those systems, I guess they're both failing. But of those systems, we used to be in the capitalist system, but we are in like late stage capitalism now. So there needs to be a new system, guys. There needs to be a new system. And I think this new system that's coming is going to be universal basic income, guys. I don't see any way that it cannot be universal basic income. I believe it's coming. We're all going to be on universal basic income, living in 15-minute cities. And, and these, and we're going to have non-English speakers providing our security, just like the South African model, guys. April Lee says it all needs to be stopped at the borders. I agree, April Lee. Look, guys, if any of you guys have done any medical training, or like if any of you guys are like nurses or doctors, if somebody comes into you with a catastrophic bleed, all right, you need to stop the bleeding at source. If you don't stop the bleeding at source, doesn't matter how many bandages you put on, that bleed is going to continue until the inevitable happens and you bleed out. That's what's happening at the moment, guys, in the United Kingdom. We are being bled dry. And this all stems from international investment, guys. All stems from international investment. There's a big sponge on the United Kingdom, and our money is leaving this country at a rapid rate of knots. Sarah May Gen X is saying good morning. Good morning to you, Sarah May Gen X. Guys, what does this Gen X mean? Because there's a lot of people that have got Gen X after their name. What does that mean? What does that mean, Gen X? I don't know. And Priv Caro is saying good morning. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I guess we are on now. I guess we're on. Can you guys do me a real big favor? Like, comment, share, subscribe, bell notification, whatever those buttons are, ladies and gentlemen, that you guys are watching on. We are triple streaming this morning. We are triple streaming. We are on TikTok, we are on X, and we are on TikTok, X, and YouTube. So please show your support, guys, on all platforms. The buttons are up here somewhere if you're on TikTok. They're down here if you're on YouTube. Just give them a little press, guys. Give them a little press. I really appreciate those buttons that you press, ladies and gentlemen. Sharon is saying Gen X means we are the best. So Sharon Owen is saying Gen X means we are the best. So Sharon Owen, why don't you have Gen X by your name? What does that mean? Oh, right, okay. So Gen X is the generate, right, okay. So, right, okay, I understand now, guys. Right, sorry, guys, I understand. So Debbie1973 is saying Gen X is the generation born between 1965 and 1980. Okay, right. Sorry, yeah, Generation X. Sorry, guys, I do apologize. Yeah, the generation before the millennials. Am I saying that right? Yeah, sorry, guys. Right, yeah, I feel a bit silly now. Of course, Gen X. Right, okay. Oh, what have I just done? Hang on, guys. I've just pressed something on the screen that I probably shouldn't have. There we are. Matt over on YouTube is saying, get them back on the boats. I think, I mean, can you imagine the scenario, right? Can you imagine this scenario, right? And I'm not saying this is going to happen, although I do think it will. I know that's contradicting myself. Can you imagine the scenario, right? Where, like, if there is conscription, like, if real quick, like, if like Keir Starmer looks at the numbers and he's like, yeah, our army is well below numbers. We are well below numbers, and we need to, we need more people in our, we need more people in our ranks. And for some reason, they just start conscripting these people in these hotels. They're like, there's some sort of military unit, and they just go around the hotel. They put a cordon in around the hotel. There's military trucks, and they go in room by room, dragging people out and putting them on trucks and sending them to the front line. Can you imagine how quickly, like, there'll be people on the boats in Dover trying to get back to France? Like, can you imagine that? I mean, that would be absolutely hilarious. Enslave 86 is saying, morning show, morning guys. What have I missed? So guys, listen, we are talking this morning about the critical situation with the Bell Hotel in Epping. Now, a legal precedent has happened whereby the legal precedent is this, guys, okay? And I don't know why this has not happened already. But the legal precedent is this. The councils are claiming that you can't hold migrants in these hotels because the planning permission for these hotels was not for that. Now, people are claiming this as a victory all over the United Kingdom, guys. People are claiming this as a victory. I'm not convinced this is a victory, guys. Okay, I'm not convinced this is a victory. What I am convinced of is people have unified, people have organized and mobilized. But you've got to understand, as long as more people keep coming to the United Kingdom, legally or illegally, they've got to be put somewhere. They've got to go somewhere. Like, where are they going to go, guys? So they close. So let's just play it through, guys. So let's just play it through for a second, okay? So the Bell Hotel in Epping, everybody's cheering, everybody's cheering, high fives all around, people are, celebratory subways, barbecues, everybody's waving the flags. Those people from that hotel, I don't know how many, 100, I don't know. I genuinely don't know how many people are in that hotel. Where are they going to go? So they close that hotel, coaches come, those people get on those coaches. Where are those coaches going to drive to? I don't know. Another hotel? Okay, fine. You put them in another hotel. Okay, fine. That other hotel, then, they think, well, hang on a minute. people outside are, they're chanting. There's a legal precedence now to close these hotels down. Okay, we've got to close this hotel down now. Right, okay, fair enough. We close this hotel down because of planning permission, okay? More people now. Where are those people going to go, guys? Literally, where are those people going to go? I believe these people are going to find their way into taxpayer-funded council houses, guys. I do. And again, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a good thing because I don't even know how that could be a good thing, but maybe it is. Maybe it is. I don't know. Linda Lou is saying, I'm a boomer. We're the only ones that had experienced the most change in our lives. So when we talk about boomers, Gen X, millennials, so the children. So if you guys have heard me talk about the golden generation, if we talk about birth rates and I guess it's like the fourth turning sort of stuff. So the kids that are at school now, so if you're 16 and under, those kids are going to be like the war generation, and their kids are going to be the new boomers, if that makes sense to you guys. DeMarie Gen X is saying, I would love to see Starmer announce he's conscripting the visitors. You're right. Where did that go? DeMarie Gen X. I know what Gen X means now. You're a Gen Xer. DeMarie Gen X on TikTok is saying, move. Right. Why is that not? Yeah. DeMarie Gen X on TikTok is saying, I would love to see Starmer announce he's conscripting the visitors. You're right. They would flee en masse. But then you'd probably see a situation where the British government could keep them in country. They're no, you're not allowed in those boats. They're not safe. You can't go over there. Nobody can deny now, guys. I don't think anyone's in any argument that the government are complicit in this, in the mass migration. I don't think anybody can argue this now. And look, when people are saying that they don't think Keir Starmer would do that, Keir Starmer doesn't know what he's doing. If Keir Starmer gets told to conscript people, he'll do that. He will read that teleprompter. He doesn't care. He'll put his glasses on and he will read it. April Lee is saying, I do think that the immigrants will be used to make up numbers in the British Army. I think there's a strong argument. There's a strong argument, service for citizenship. And you know what, guys? I'm going to be quite honest. Like, I wouldn't. Some people have said, Sean, how would you feel if you was fighting alongside, some immigrants? I wouldn't care. I genuinely wouldn't care. Couldn't care less. I'd be conscious if they were incompetent. Yes, of course. But, if they've gone through relevant training and they've passed, I genuinely, guys, I don't have an issue with that. What I will say, though, is, as April Lee is saying that she thinks there's a likelihood that these migrants end up in the military. I think there's phases of this. So there's phases, and I think we're seeing the first phase now. So you need to get those people who are motivated. You need to get those people who are motivated first. The next phase would be maybe the next phase would be offer this out to migrants. So say, listen, there's a war kicked off. We need more people. We will give citizenship for service. If you guys want to serve in the military, we'll give you guys citizenship. You get those guys in because they would be then the motivated guys. And then after that, that's when you start the conscription, because you need to keep these blocks separate. You really do need to keep these blocks separate. DeMarie Gen X is agreeing with April Lee. She's saying, I do agree also for citizenship. Debbie 1973 is saying, why not use decommissioned ferries or cruise ships more than between France and the migrants can stay there? I think somebody proposed that, actually. I think that was proposed, but somebody went on and said they're not up to living standards or something. I don't know. Linda Lou is saying, how would people feel towards illegal if they fought for us? Would we be okay with them being here? I think something happens to you guys. Something happens to you when you serve, when you serve for your country. You have a new respect for that country and the people within it. So I would say that the people who joined up willingly, I'd say that I wouldn't, like me personally, I wouldn't have a problem with that. You know, I genuinely wouldn't have a problem with that. The problems that we have at the moment, like for example, Manchester. What was it? The 14th of August, guys, Manchester. We had a scenario on the 14th of August in Manchester where like the streets were filled with the streets were just crammed with Pakistanis, you know, celebrating Independence Day. Now that's beautiful and I welcome it. Now just consider this, guys, okay? I mean, first of all, let's just consider that there were Pakistanis in the United Kingdom celebrating independence from the United Kingdom. So like, I don't even understand it. So like, you want to be independent from, you know, so this is, guys, if there's any Pakistanis listening, can you just answer this question? So you're celebrating your independence from Britain by moving to Britain and living in Britain, the country that you wanted independence from at the first place? Surely that's contradicting, guys. Surely that doesn't make sense. But just a quick question. So all those people out celebrating on the 14th of what month we're in? August. So those people, and why do they do this thing where they hop on one foot? They do this like hopping on one foot. I don't know. It must be a national dance or something. So like you've got all these people, thousands and thousands of people in Manchester closing the streets down, celebrating. All the police are dancing, you know, celebrating independence. Like if a war broke out, and I'm not saying it would, but if a global conflict, guys, okay, global conflict on an industrial scale, we know that Pakistan would lean towards Russia, and we know that India would lean towards the West. So those thousands of Pakistanis who were celebrating Pakistani Independence Day in Manchester, like if a war did break out, where would their loyalties lie? Where would their allegiances be? Would their allegiances be with Pakistan, or would their allegiances be with Britain? I guess that question, needs to be tested at some. Well, it doesn't need to be tested, but I think that question will be tested at some point. So Debbie 1973 is saying, why can't we put these people on a cruise ship until their claims are processed or denied and then moved? I just think that I don't think the numbers. Well, obviously we know the answer to this. Actually, we know the answer to this. So Debbie 1973 on TikTok is saying, why can't these people be put on cruise ships, decommissioned cruise ships? And decommission cruise ships until their claims are processed or denied. The simple answer is they don't. You know, the government don't want them there. The government want them on mainland UK. Now the next question is, why do the government want them on mainland UK? And there's some dark paths when you go down that one, guys. There's some dark paths when you go down that one. Pink Lady 79 is saying, how would you feel safe working alongside them in a war? These people don't like us. I wouldn't trust them. Ladies and gentlemen, I've worked along some really bad people in conflict zones. And when those bullets are flying towards you, you kind of need to work together. And that will always happen. Hang on. I can't think of any circumstances that I know of where like in one of these war zones where people have turned. No. because you're working for a common, you're working for a common good. You're working for that common, you're working for that common, those common goals. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people would go through that training. They would go through that, they would go through that training. They would go. And remember, guys, listen, remember, when you go through these training courses, you get pushed real hard, and you do get pushed real hard, and cracks appear. And if cracks appear, you don't want those people. So I would say a lot of people would fail. But the ones that come through that training course, yeah, I think they're absolutely fine. Luz, I'm just going to say Luz is saying, I don't think these people will ever get off benefits. That's why they're here. Yeah, I think so as well, Luz Luxford. Linda Lou is saying, we don't know why they're here, but we know they are there for military. I wonder if we would be more tolerant. And Betty Penny's jumping up and she's saying, hello, Sean. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are joining for the first time, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit those bell notifications. We're triple streaming. We are triple streaming on YouTube, TikTok, and X. We're going to do the first part of this live stream on with TikTok running, and then I will turn the TikTok off, guys, and I will just be live streaming on YouTube and X. The reason I have to do that, guys, is you guys have seen how many live streams I get banned. The algorithm doesn't like me talking about certain things. I'm surprised I've not got banned so far. And then we'll talk a little bit more freely over on YouTube. But the crux of this live stream, guys, okay? Migrant hotels in the United Kingdom to close. I feel this is going to be a cascading effect. This is going to happen real quick. Now, genuinely, guys, I'm not convinced, and I'm not so sure that this is a win for people, because, and I've said this so many times, guys, literally go back and watch the video I did yesterday. I think the video, if you go look at my profile on TikTok, the video says, I think it says breaking news or something. And I'm talking about the Bell Hotel. I'm talking about how the, how the Bell Hotel in Epping, how it's closing. And in that video, I say, listen, guys, be careful what you wish for, because where are those people going to go? And what I say in that video is I feel that those people are going to find their way into private rented houses. And those private rented houses, ladies and gentlemen, are going to be taxpayer funded. Ladies and gentlemen, the sheer numbers involved here are unbelievable. The numbers are unbelievable, guys, okay? So then you're going to have migrants wanting their hotels getting closed down. They're going to be like, yes, please close our hotels down, close our hotels down. Because these people are going to be put in, because these people are going to be then put in, in private houses. Now, the next question is, if these people get put in private rented houses, how much money will they get? Where will they get their food from? Where will they get all their little, their washing done and their toothpaste and their shampoo? Will that mean that the taxpayer have to give them more money? Like you guys can kind of imagine the situation, can't you? So like, let me Google this. Hang on, guys. Hang on, guys. You give me a second. Right, okay, here we go, guys. Here we go. Oh, wow, guys. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, so new style job seekers allowance is paid at the following weekly rates. If you're under 24, you get £72 a week. If you're age 25 or over, you get £92 a week. I don't know why you would get more if you're older. Maybe things cost more if you're older. So right, guys, listen. Let me just open another screen. Give me a second. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to work this out. Let me work this out. Let me work this out. This is going to be wild, guys. This is going to be bonkers. I think this is coming, guys, as well. Right. Okay. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I've just done I've just done a little bit of Raven research here. So migrants, look, guys, and I don't know if this is true. I'm literally just Googled this. Okay. So a migrant receiving asylum in the UK will get a weekly allowance of £49.18. Okay. Let's just call it £50, all right? Let's call it £50 for Raven maths, okay? You see where I'm going with this, okay? So a migrant in the UK gets £49, all right? For £49 a week. If you're on job seekers and you're under 24, which a lot of these migrants are, you get £72.90 a week. So let's call that £73. So there's only £23 difference, all right? So there's only £23 difference if you are a migrant or if you are on job seekers allowance, right? Now, riddle me this, riddle me that. If these migrants are getting £49 as it is, and then they go into private accommodation, you know, a house, they're going to need more money for food. They're going to need more money for gas, electric, council tax, I guess, all that sort of stuff. So I would speculate right now that we're going to have a national scandal on its way, ladies and gentlemen. Mark this live stream. Remember when I said this. Remember this, guys. Remember what I'm saying right now. We are going to have a national scandal coming because I'm taking a lot of things into consideration here, guys, including ideological subversion. We are going to have a national scandal in the UK where it's going to happen for some way, somehow, migrants are going to be receiving more than people on job seekers allowance. Now, whether you agree with that or not, you know, I don't know. I don't know where I stand on that. I would say that is coming very soon, guys, because once these migrants move into those private houses, which is coming, you're going to have to give them more money, because if you're giving them £49 now, if they're getting £49.18, call it £50. So if they're getting 50, why didn't they just round it up to £50? How did that get calculated? £49.18. I don't know. So if they're getting £49 now, £50, call it, and then they move into accommodation, private accommodation, and they have to, you know, they have to make their own food. You've got to give them more. You've got to give them more. So, you know, where does this happen? And I believe, ladies and gentlemen, very soon, we're going to have a situation. We're going to have a national scandal. You know, you're going to have Rupert Lowe and Nigel Farage and what's the other one? Chris Philp, you know, Robert Jenrick, and they're all going to be talking about, you know, migrants coming over to the United Kingdom on boats getting more than people who've paid tax and they found themselves unemployed. That is going to come, guys. That's coming, ladies and gentlemen. And you've got to understand why. You've got to understand why all these things are happening. Lusfords is saying it would happen anyway. April Lee is saying furniture. Yeah, I didn't think about that. So if these people move into private rented houses, who's going to furnish those houses? Who's going to put the, you know, the beds, the TVs, the Wi-Fi? Who's going to pay for all that stuff? Candy Rocks is saying good morning, everyone, and good morning to you, Candy Rocks. April Lee is saying they get £2,500 for furnishings and 2 fitted carpets. Wow. Listen, we should all pat ourselves on the back. Ladies and gentlemen, all give yourselves a pat on the back. Like, haven't we done so good, you know, providing all this stuff for people? Google It is saying, how long has this live been up for? This live, Google It, has been up for 45 minutes and 25 seconds. And April Lee is saying the council pay. Yeah, guys, we are heading towards a national scandal, guys. That is coming. Mark this live stream, or not live stream. Mark this video on YouTube, guys, because all the videos get put on. All the videos will be uploaded to YouTube. Quite a few comments just jumped up on. Right, what am I going to do? Am I going to go to YouTube or Tracy McKibben? Is saying, no, Sean, read the Serco website. Everything is paid for them. Water, council tax, heating, and migrants in Northern Ireland get 200 quid on a prepaid credit card through the post each week. That can't be right. Tracy McKibben, are you telling me the truth? Tracy McKibben, guys, over on YouTube is saying, hang on. I think the group chat's gone crackers. Hang on. Right, I don't have to answer that. So Tracy McKibben over on, listen, guys, I don't know if this is true or not. I'm just reading Tracy McKibben's comment over on YouTube. She's saying, read the Serco website. Everything is paid for them. Water, council tax, heating, and migrants in Northern Ireland get £200 a week on a prepaid credit card through the post. Guys, honestly, I don't get £200 a week to spend on myself. Like I don't, guys. I don't get £200 a week to spend on myself. Absolutely unbelievable. What I do think this is showing, though, I think this is showing the pretense or the precursor for universal basic income, guys. I really do. I think universal basic income is coming. I think everything that we're seeing right now. Everything that we are seeing right now is leading towards universal basic income. I don't see any other way around it, guys. Okay. April Lee is saying that information I do know because of my work. And Jody Lee is saying they also get car insurance and money and mobiles. Jody Lee is saying yes, that is true. So apparently, if you're like, maybe that's why people want to go to Northern Ireland. Are the Northern Irish generous? Google it is saying inflation jumps in wakes of Reeves' tax raid. It's unbelievable, isn't it, guys? Listen, guys, this is a true story. I went to where was I? I think I was in like Home Bargains or something. I think I was in Home Bargains, and I wanted to get I needed some cooking oil. So I picked. They didn't have none of the normal vegetable oil, and the cheapest oil that they had was like $3.99. I thought, I'm not paying $3.99 for something that used to cost like, I can remember when cooking oil was like 17 pence a litre. So I picked it up. I thought, right, I'm not paying $3.99 for that. I'd rather do without, or I'll figure something out. So then I put it back, and I paid for my stuff, and I left the store. And then I was angry with myself. So I'm angry at myself now because I had some ribeyes. I thought, right, I'm gonna have to do something because I need some oil. So I thought, right, I'll go into I don't know, Asda or whatever. And I got a small bottle of oil. And it was £2.50. I thought, all right, I got a small bottle of oil, that's fine. Anyway, when I got outside, I looked, and the bottle of oil was actually half the size of the one I'd put back for £4. So all I'd really done is bought less and paid more for it. So I was really angry at myself. But what I'm getting at here now, guys, is demand destruction. Nobody's spending. Nobody is spending. People are in survival mode. And, because people, you see how it's a self-fulfilling doom spiral. Taxes go up, people don't spend. People don't spend, businesses don't make any money. Businesses don't make any money. They have to let people go. They don't pay taxes. They close down. Less money coming into the system. Taxes have to go up even further. Where does it end, ladies and gentlemen? Where does it end? Inflation's insane, guys. Inflation's insane. Jody Lee is saying they get benefits along with food vouchers each week. Right, guys. I don't know what I don't know the ins and outs of this. I do know, ladies and gentlemen, that the migrant hotels in Epping are looking like they're going to be closing. This is going to send shockwaves all over the United Kingdom. More hotels will close. Mark my words. Then we're going to see reports of these migrants being put in private rented houses paid for by the taxpayer. Then we're going to have a national scandal whereby migrants will actually be getting more money each week than people who have paid tax all their life and have found themselves on job seekers allowance. That is coming, ladies and gentlemen. Mark my words. So Google is saying Iraqi can stay in Britain after people smuggler stole his ID. Yeah, the best one I've heard, there was the best one I've heard, guys, why people could stay in the United Kingdom was there was this guy, I think he was Albanian. He was like a big Albanian like crime lord or something, and they couldn't deport him. They couldn't deport this Albanian like gang lord or whatever. They couldn't deport him because his son didn't like the chicken nuggets in Albania. I promise you, let me Google this because I know you're not going to believe me. I know you're not going to believe me. Let me just get this up a second, guys. Yep. Yeah, here we are, guys. So this is an article from February. No, I was right, guys. I literally hit it right on the edge. So guys, look, when we're talking about like how difficult it is to get, like, we're talking about mass deportations, right? Yeah. Forget it. Forget mass deportations, guys. It ain't happening. You know, you got all these people walking, oh, we're going to have mass deportations. It's not going to happen. Listen, I was absolutely right. So I'm going to read you this article now, guys, from February 2025. Criminal's deportation case halted over son's dislike for chicken nuggets. A tribunal ruled it would be unduly harsh for the 10-year-old son to return to Albania owing to food sensitivities. So you've got this guy now. He's like a crime lord or something, and they tried to deport him back to Albania, but they said they couldn't deport him because his son didn't like the chicken nuggets in Albania. So there you have it, guys. There you have it. You know, forget all this. You know, you don't have to spend. You know, you don't have to get like expensive lawyers. Why can't we deport you? I don't like the chicken nuggets. Fair enough. I mean, where are we going next, guys? I mean, are people going to be fleeing? I mean, this does open a precedence, doesn't it? Listen, guys, I'm going off track a little bit, but look, you can imagine it now. Like somebody's going to come over from Albania and they're going to say, why are you fleeing Albania? And they're going to say, oh, I just don't like the chicken nuggets over there. And the government are going to say, yep, he's fine. Let's approve that. Nobody should have to eat those Albanian chicken nuggets. I don't know. Maybe I should go to Albania and try the chicken nuggets. April Lee is saying, I'm moving to Ireland, getting my boat ready. Yeah, I was talking to my friend who's Ukrainian. I said, listen, get yourselves to the border, come over to the UK. I'll put you up in my house and we'll split the difference. Google is saying police investigates St. George's flag painted on roundabout. I wonder why they're not investigating people walking into other people's houses. I wonder why that's not, that's not a crime. April Lee saying, I remember that case. Yeah, chicken nuggets, guys, chicken nuggets. If you want to get, listen, if anybody's watching this live stream and you're worried about getting deported, just say you don't like the chicken nuggets where they're going to send you to. You'll be fine. Sharon Owen is saying, I saw a program last night about people doing food shopping in B&M and Poundland because of cost. So, like, I don't know. Were they saying that's bad? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they're the best places to go for food. Listen, guys, if you guys want to know where to get the best food, like the cheapest food, go and speak to like your local restaurant owners. Go and speak to them, guys. Okay, they will know where to locally. They will know where to get the cheapest, best food, if that makes sense. Go to your local restaurant owners, guys, and just ask them. You know, my sister has a restaurant, and she will, you know, she knows everywhere by the penny because that's their bottom line. So just a little tip, guys, if you want to know where the cheapest food is around wherever you live, go and ask your local hotel owners, guys. Okay, not hotel owners, restaurant owners. I mean, like local ones, not big chains. I mean, like independent ones, because they will know where to get the best food from at the best price because it comes off their bottom line ultimately. Rachel McClelland, hello Rachel McClelland, is saying there's a lot of home games being played in Premiership as London will be packed with people travelling. I don't know what that's in reference to, Rachel. Are we saying that could be a threat? Oh, hang on. Sorry, I'll read Rachel's first comment and I'll read her second comment and then it'll make sense. So Rachel saying, Sean, do you think something will happen on the 13th at the London protest as predicting an attack? Looked up Google, a lot of big events all over the world have happened on the 13th of September. There's also a lot of home games being played in the Premiership as London will be packed and people will be travelling. All these big events are potential strike points. They're potential strike points. Whenever you get masses of people together, it's always a potential. What I will say about the 13th, it will be heavily policed, guys. It will be heavily policed. There will be more police on there you can shake a big stick at. What I always think is, and look, I'm not saying it's not, what I would say is the main threat for me is always the places that you don't expect. It's like if you're a boxer, you know, you never get knocked out by well, I don't know, maybe you do. But normally you don't ever get knocked out by the punch you see. You can always get something up there to deflect it. So it's always the punch that you don't see. So I would always go down the line of it's always the place you don't expect. So expect the unexpected, you know. Maybe listen, so here's the thing. Maybe everybody's expecting something to happen in London on the 13th, but it doesn't happen in London. It happens somewhere else. So maybe Birmingham, Manchester, I don't know, Newcastle, Sheffield, you know, maybe another big city, something happens. But certainly, you know, everybody needs to be vigilant about these big dates. Candy Rocks is saying, oh, hang on. There's quite a few. Hang on. Candy Rocks is saying a lot of businesses use a cash and carry, which isn't for the public. Well, get yourself in there, Candy Rocks. Get yourself into that cash and carry. Figure out how to get into that cash and carry. How does that business get into that cash and carry? How can you get into that cash and carry? You know, you just need to make these things happen. Google it is saying UK inflation rises by more than expected amid higher food prices. Yeah, exactly what I just said, guys. Exactly what I just said. Rail fares in England on path to rise by 5.8% next year. Trump is saying he won't send troops to Ukraine, but might help by air. Look, guys, we all know this is coming. We all know that people in the United Kingdom, people in Europe, NATO. I mean, guys, listen, I did quite a long live stream last night and I talked about, last night I did a live stream and I talked about the prospect of how NATO minus the United States would fare up against Russia. And it doesn't look good for NATO, guys. It doesn't look good for NATO. Candy Rocks is saying you have to have a business number from the council. Go and get yourself a business number, Candy Rocks. Make it happen. Make it happen. Go and get one. Oh, and then hang on, just a quick one over on YouTube, guys. Rachel McClelland is saying, Sean, I work in B&M in Northern Ireland, and we have been struggling with deliveries for weeks now, blaming it on mistake of EU goods. Suspicious. I did a live stream. Well, not a live stream. I think I was somewhere. I think it was B&M. And guys, look, you know that these companies are struggling with getting stuff in, because they fill the shelves with those boxes. You know, those boxes that are like, those big storage boxes? They just fill the shelves with those storage boxes. And you're like, oh, storage boxes on this shelf. That never happens. It's because companies are struggling to get stuff. I mean, I think my local B&M now has like a shelf, a row, a line. What do you call them? Is it a shelf? What do you call them? A row? An aisle. Like my local B&M now has an aisle full of Christmas stuff, literally full of Christmas stuff, guys. Okay, full of Christmas stuff. So I don't know. Are we ready for Christmas? Google is saying Switzerland says it's ready to grant Russian leader immunity from arrest. April is talking about plastic boxes. Google is saying Zelensky and Putin could be by the end of the month with 5 locations touted. I don't think it's going to happen, guys. I don't think we're going to see a Zelensky and Putin meeting. And even if we do, nothing's going to come from it, guys. Nothing's going to come from it until there is hard military action that is stopping the Russians move forward. Right, guys, listen, I'm going to turn you guys off on, I'm going to turn off the TikTok in a minute, and we will just be live streaming on YouTube and X. So the crux of this video, guys, the crux of this live stream, if you're watching on TikTok, Migrant Hotels. In fact, let me just see if there's been any breaking news about that. Right, just no, I'm not going to go on that. I'll save that till later. I'm just looking at this now, guys. More hotels. Excuse me. I usually do 3, but not today. More asylum hotels face legal challenge after court ruling. Yeah, we spoke about that. Yeah. So look, guys, the crux of this live stream, okay? The crux of this live stream, ladies and gentlemen, the Bell Hotel in Epping was the test case, okay? Looks like that's going to be closed now as for a legal challenge. And the legal challenge is that these hotels are, when the planning permission went in for these hotels, they've changed their use. So they're going to close these hotels down now. So, but my question, and I said this on my video yesterday, where are those people going to go? I mean, doctors, engineers, scientists, architects, like, where are they going to go? Where are they going to go, guys? Are they going to go to another hotel and then that's going to get closed down? So they go to another hotel and then that's going to close down. I'm speculating, guys, ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying that these people are going to ultimately end up in council-paid houses, taxpayer-funded houses, in and around where you live. So I don't know, guys, better the devil you know, better the devil you don't, careful what we wish for, all that sort of stuff, guys. Unbelievable. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close this down now on TikTok, and then I will continue the live stream over on YouTube. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you've not done so already, please go show your support there. I'm the Real Raven 1 on YouTube. I'm the Real Raven 1 on X. Like, comment, subscribe, all those things that help the channel grow, ladies and gentlemen. And I will see you later before 8. I'm going to I'm going to do the live stream before 8, guys. I'm going to try. I'm going to try and get on about 7 this evening because we're watching Lord of the Rings. What have we got to? We've just got to the part where what's happened now in Lord of the Rings? I can't remember where we are. Yeah, so we're just on Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. Aragorn, the Fellowship have they're going down the river on the boats. They're just leaving the elf land and they're going down the river on the boats. Right, guys, I'll see you later. I'll be over on YouTube and I'll see you soon. 7. Hang on, guys. Give me a second because this group chat is going bonkers. Right, I don't need to respond to that. Right, ladies and gentlemen. So we are just streaming on YouTube and X. Right, let me jump up. From now is saying several UK sailing organisations offer free or sailing lessons experiences to refugees. It's gone mad. I mean, surely the refugees and the migrants, surely those guys, surely those guys should be the ones giving people in the UK sailing advice. They're the experienced seamen. Lincolnshire Templar is saying Christmas will be banned slowly but surely. Yeah, you're already seeing this, aren't you? Like, we don't have Christmas cards anymore, do we? If you've noticed, the Christmas cards do not say Merry Christmas on them anymore. They say like season's greetings or something. Yeah. When I used to work in Baghdad, listen, people in Baghdad celebrate Christmas probably more than we do in the UK. You would see the Iraqis and they would have these Christmas masks, these like Father Christmas masks. Guys, they're terrifying. It's like imagine a plastic mask sprayed like white skin color with a beard. Guys, they're terrifying, these masks. But yeah, everybody used to wear them in Baghdad. They were quite terrifying. Tina, Lancashire, is saying coaches taken to a Haven campsite in the night. Yeah, so we are getting quite a lot of this, guys. Tina again. Coaches of migrants taken to Haven campsite during night. Lady on holiday campsite last night. Yeah. So, one of my friends has I think it's in Lincolnshire. I can't remember the name of it. I think it's called like Seven Oaks or something. Seven Oaks, it's in Lincolnshire. So my friend has a caravan there, and he was speaking to some of the people there, and he was saying that caravan site has been sold by an international investor. Excuse me. And that international investor is putting migrants in the caravan park. When I did a live stream on this, and I asked, excuse me, I said this on a live stream, and the amount of people that inboxed me saying, yes, that is definitely happening. I even had someone, it wasn't Seven Oaks. It's actually called Seven Lakes in Lincolnshire. So I actually had somebody say, no, Sean, it's called Seven Lakes and it's in Lincolnshire. And the migrants are already on that campsite. And what he said was, what they've done is they've fenced parts of that campsite off. And that's where they're putting the migrants. So they're putting the migrants now in the hotels. Look, guys, I don't know about you, but when people go to these caravan parks, it's kind of like a little getaway, isn't it? It's like a little getaway for people to go to, and you let your kids play. You let your kids play and run around because those campsites are relatively safe, But now, how do we feel? Do we feel those campsites are still safe? I don't know. I don't know if maybe they're safer. Maybe they're safer because there's a lot of young fighting age men in there. Maybe they're safer now because there's a lot of young fighting age men protecting everyone. D. Marie Gen X is saying, what's your thoughts on Corn becoming the next prime minister? Yeah, we said this, didn't we? We said this before, didn't we? I don't know if you guys can remember, but maybe a couple of months ago. This is why you should all follow my channel, guys. We talk about things that are going to happen in the future, then they happen. So if that's not an excuse, if that's not the perfect reason, guys, to hit those like, follow, subscribe buttons, bell notification down below, I don't know what is. We said it was going to happen. I think there's a strong likelihood of this happening, guys. I really do. And you've got to understand that this would be part of subversion, guys. Okay, this would be part of subversion. This would be to subvert the public into going crackers. From now, he's saying organisations in the UK offer free self-declared defence classes to refugees aiming at enhancing their safety and well-being. Classes are often part of a broader initiative to support refugees. I'm in shock. So what I think is happening here, guys, is I think these look, guys, I don't know, or I'm just speculating here, guys. Okay, so what I think is these organizations, I think they will be getting government funded money. So, for example, if you are I don't know, Ravens Jiu-Jitsu, if you want to learn Raven Jiu-Jitsu, which is more like pub rolling, if you guys want to learn Raven Jiu-Jitsu, you know, I can apply for a government grant. Maybe, I don't know if this is the case, guys. I'm just thinking out loud. You know, you can apply, so you can learn them. You know, you can get money off the government for this, and businesses ultimately, guys, are there to make money. And April Lee is saying Khan has turned on Kia. Remember, guys, okay, the same people who fund Keir Starmer are the same people who fund Sadiq Khan. It's all one big club, guys. It's smoke and mirrors. It's pomp and pageantry. If it's happening, they're being told that, you know, if it's going to happen, they're not doing it through, you know, these things, you know, these things don't happen. They get told to happen. My speculation, my analysis, and my opinion, guys. Okay, that is. And from now, he's saying also several organizations offer free boxing lessons to immigrants and refugees, often as part of a wider community support. Yeah, I saw one where there was like a sniper course that they were going on. Right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm going to close this down now as well. You guys have been fantastic. The crux of this video, ladies and gentlemen, okay, UK migrant hotels to close. Be careful what you wish for. I believe that the migrants in these hotels are, whether we agree with that or not, it's totally up to you. I personally don't. The migrants in these hotels, I believe, are going to find their way into taxpayer-funded private housing. So if you look back and see what's happened over the last couple of years, the government have made it difficult for private renters. So they've had to, for private landlords, sorry, I don't mean the big landlords, I mean the small landlords. You know, so the landlords have had to sell their houses. These houses have been bought up, I believe, en masse by these by large international investors, because they know that they're going to be getting taxpayer money to put to put these people in. Look, guys, I do think, and I want to leave this as a final thought, I do think it's coming down the line, maybe not this month, maybe not next month, but remember me saying this, guys, okay, and mark this video. I think we're heading to a national scandal. We are heading to a national scandal where it's going to come out that migrants are getting more taxpayer-funded money, like than people on jobs. Job seekers allowance. That's going to happen, guys. There's not much in it at the moment. So a migrant gets £49.18 or something, and somebody on job seekers gets like 73 or something. So what's going to happen is these migrants are going to get put into private houses, and then they're going to work it out, and they're going to say, hang on a minute, how is this fair? How is it fair that somebody who's 23, they've worked since they were 16, they've found themselves paid tax, they've worked since they were 23, they've worked since they were 16, they're 23 now, they find themselves unemployed, and they're getting less money than someone that came here illegally on a boat? How is that fair? You know, that's the next thing that's coming. I do also think there's a strong case for Sadiq Khan becoming UK Prime Minister. Again, you've got to look at subversion, and that'll give you the answers. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close this down now. I'm going to hopefully be on later at 7, because like I said, we're going through Lord of the Rings.